Recording is on.
Welcome, Larry, and I will be talking more about why Larry's on with us a little later.
All right, so first I want to thank Thomas for sending me what I think is going to be a great regional legislative liaison, Kelly Witter. She seems very fired up and didn't mean to steal a district captain from you, but she said she felt better about the legislative liaison position for some reason. I think it was all the forms that you required her to fill out. But Dale, thank you for keeping your eyes open as well. Unfortunately, things didn't work out with her. Hopefully, you can still grab her to, get involved in some things. She sounded like something might have come up in her personal life, kind of last minute, and she just couldn't do it. But and then Larry, I was going to call you today, but I didn't get around to it. So I thought I'd save this for tonight. But I had dinner with Dan Stock and his wife, who has turned into his official appointment calendar maker, bookkeeper, making sure he shows up where he's got to be and pulls him out of there when she wants him to.
Yeah.
So
that sounds
he had been interested. I pitched the Region 8 LL position to him. He sounded very interested in it, but I haven't heard from him now in about a week. And she was very guarded about it because of all the other things that he's got going on. So, but given Melba helped us out last year, but I think she's going to be consumed, at least up to the November timeframe with the school board election that she's doing. And I'm sure she'll help out, if she doesn't win. If she does win, which I hope she does, then she's going to be, I think, pretty consumed with school board issues, at least those first 6 months of the year. So I'd like to try to see if you got anybody else that is not a DC, if we can tap somebody else in your network, or if one of your DCs knows somebody that might be interested in a Region 8 LL position. And then Vicki, I wanted to chat with you too, because I just lost her name now. Diane Jones had been down helping out on some things this last year. And I know she's one of your district captains, but you were getting some other volunteers. Do you have anybody that might be interested in Region 5 LL? Somebody that's not already doing something else?
I thought, what's going on with Diane? I thought she was doing it.
Well, she's filling both the Region LL and the DC role. She's one of your district captains, right?
Yeah, you can't have her.
Yeah. Well, that's my point. I think, I didn't want to stretch her too much. And, as we get things moving, she'll be not only doing her own district, but, at the Region LL position, helping you coordinate with all the other district captains to build relationships with with their representatives. So I don't know if she's got the time for that.
We're having a meeting Saturday. I'll go over it with her, but she indicated to me that she was good with doing both. So
okay, because we're hoping it's going to get pretty busy, and we want to start having meetings with all of the reps as soon as possible right now, so that we can gear up for some town halls as well as some surveys. So she'd be meeting with all your district captains and helping them put agendas together for meetings with their reps as well as their own, and hopefully drag along some of the other activists that you've got, that are going to school board meetings or something else, so that you have talking points to discuss with the reps.
Okay.
And then Cheryl, I don't know if you've got anybody over in your area that might be interested in this position, but again, we're trying to find somebody that's some new blood that would be, interested in, that's comfortable talking, making appointments, talking with the reps, coordinating with your other district captains. They'd be working hand in glove. This regional LL position is going to work hand in glove with you guys as region captain to develop kind of strategies based on the feedback that everybody's getting from these meetings, help them set up meetings, go along with them to listen and add talking points, and hopefully drag along some other activists that are involved in various things, from block walking or anything else you guys got going on that can, develop some of the talking points. And they're also constituents for these reps. We would like to get as many meetings as we can with these people, so we can build some strong relationships, understand what they're going to be putting up this next session, and what committees they're going to be seeing, and who those committee chairs are. Those committee chairs turned out to play a lot of games this last session, and so we want to hit those committee chair people up hard, as well as everybody on the committee. So any intel we get along those lines is going to be, really valuable.
Well, I'd like to tell you that I have somebody, but let me work on that, because I do have some new people that showed up at the last meeting, which I think might work out, but I need to talk to them first.
Okay, good. And then we're just trying to push this activist agenda, from the list that you guys should all have. When you sign anybody up at events, any of your district captains sign anybody up, give them a copy of that list and try to grab them right away with what they're interested in. Talk them through, some of the things that are on there, and see if we can get them doing something. The best time to grab them is right at the beginning. And as you guys know, too, we're having a hard time staying in touch with people through email blasts and text blasts. We're only reaching, like 18,000 of our, 65,000, because we don't have contact information for everybody. Some people have dropped off the radar. We've really got to push getting good contact information. Tell them, we give them a newsletter every month. They can, read it quickly at their convenience. And, we don't want to inundate them with a bunch of junk mail, but we need to keep in touch with them, as supporters for COS. I think a lot of the people that signed up, years ago, they figured they did their duty and they're gone, but we got to try to get as many of them back as we can. So at the past states meeting the other day, Brenda was suggesting that everybody try to reach out, run a list from LMS of your supporters. And if you haven't talked to them, try to get in touch with them. She's trying to ask every captain, everybody at every, point of this to get in touch with people and, kind of reconnect and get good contact information for them. We've asked National to send out, and Larry can explain it better than I can, but there's a thing that is being driven by MailChimp that it's kind of a verification. You guys have probably seen things. You sign up for something and it says it's going to send you something to verify your email, and you got to wait and get that and then click on it before you actually are signed up. Well, MailChimp has that same type of thing now, and so a lot of the people that have signed up originally either didn't have that at the time, or they've never confirmed that. So that's been sent out, I think, once or twice. We've asked them to send it out just monthly, but apparently they can't do that. So we just got to remind people to look for that email. Larry can get it to everybody, and then if you hear about something, just get it to them and have them confirm their email in the system. And I think, Larry, there's a way to go in to their profile and see whether they've confirmed it as well.
Yeah, if you have a volunteer or somebody that you're trying to, or that's not getting emails, look at their profile. If they have a hourglass next to the email blast notification on the left side of their profile, that means that their MailChimp status is pending, which means they're not going to get emails because they need to be verified through MailChimp that they actually do want to receive those. So the other way is to look under the subscriptions tab, and it'll show you there too that their status is pending. So it's basically the same thing. I have a link that if you're interested, I can send it out to everybody. So if you have somebody that falls into that situation, you can forward the email to them so that they can email it back to, it actually goes to the MailChimp organization. Even though it has a COS header on it, it actually goes to MailChimp. If they're not getting emails, this would be the thing, or email blasts, this would be the thing to do so that they can confirm their email, that they want to receive emails from COS.
And Larry, Hudson, do you have a meeting coming up with your DCs again soon?
I haven't scheduled one, but we're going to have one this month, but I haven't put it together yet. Trying to find out what's the best day to get most people.
That's pretty much all I had, Gary, unless anybody has something for me.
So anybody have any questions for Marty before we move on? I know the question you all have is where's that train coming from, right? Maybe you didn't hear that squeaky sound.
I heard it.
That was my my doorbell ring. Tell me somebody's at my front door.
Okay. Mystery solved.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Marty.
All right. You need me to stick around for anything, or?
No, probably not. We'll be in touch, and we'll have you on again.
Okay. And Larry, I'll give you a call tomorrow, and I had a couple of things I wanted to chat with you about. Hudson, that is.
Which Larry?
Oh. I'm looking at Larry.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys.
I'll be here.
All right. Thanks, Marty.
You bet.
We'll see you.
So a couple things you guys can see that Larry Hartman is on with us tonight. And as you know, George had been keeping up the COS training sheet, that spreadsheet. Larry's going to take over that role, and he and I are going to be working together to oversee that. And I may have him come, I don't know, we'll see, but I'm kind of thinking we'll like him to come on this call each week, and we could talk about any issues we're finding with training, people not moving, or if there are some links. A lot of times we've had students say, well, this link on the training sheet is broken or something like that. So we can resolve those issues and keep that process moving. So you guys all know Larry Hartman. He's part of the SIA team, has been. How long have you been with active with COS, Larry?
It's been just a little over a year.
Okay. So yeah, he's one of the SIA team, and so you may have had contact with him on that in the past, but we're going to be working together on that training program. We want to try to streamline that and make it more useful. If you have questions about that, let me know. Dale, you had asked about we had talked a little bit about a training program for volunteers or volunteer activists. And I think that in looking at it again, and I talked to Brenda, that menu of volunteer activist activities, that's pretty much what National has. They don't have any other formal training program. I think, we might think about adding another COSU class or two to it if we think they should, but I think that's a good, if people go through the process of doing the learning steps and the action steps, that would be, that'd be a great way to get them involved. And as I look at it, it seems like that kind of the goal is to get people more involved than just, saying they're a volunteer activist. Vicki, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I got two questions actually. What's the best way to contact Larry if we have need a training sheet, or I guess that's a question for Larry.
So what do you think, Larry? Slack or?
I can send out a link to everybody. The same, I can probably send out an email with the link to the Google. I think it's still going to be a Google worksheet, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah, we'll be making changes to it, but it'll be a Google worksheet.
So it sort of it resides in the cloud, so to speak. So everybody has access to it pretty much at the same time, which can
we can put our own new sheets up.
Pardon?
We'll put our own new sheets up. You won't be doing that?
No, I think I don't know how Gary had this envisioned. I think the original one that I remember doing had pretty much everybody on there that had signed the volunteer form to do things. And they just had to go through certain levels of training.
Yeah. I think Larry will be adding new people to that sheet. But yeah, and if you need to contact him to have somebody added, you can probably contact him through Slack. Would be the best way. Would that be the best way to let you know, Larry?
Yeah, that's the easiest way. Yeah.
Okay. And I put Larry into this channel for Region Captain Comms. So you can just do a direct message to him, or you can post something here in this channel to him.
So it'll be Region Captain and not with the flag?
I'm not sure I heard your question.
Yeah, there's a bad echo. Can we contact him through Regional Captain and not through regular Slack? Direct?
Well, the Region Captain Comms is just one of the channels we set up in Slack. You could direct message him, or you can contact him through this channel.
Okay.
Probably direct message would be the most streamlined way to do it, though.
Yeah, Gary, something else
Gary,
that
aren't
crossed.
the individual training sheets? Sorry.
Go ahead, Dale.
Something else I was looking for, is there any written instruction about how to file a report on the COS application app that addresses both Apple or Android? Well, if somebody's going to file a report, like they attended this meeting on the COS application app, my phone is Apple. So if I'm talking to one of my district captains or volunteers, I can easily tell them how to do it on Apple. But I don't have the slightest idea what they have to see on Android. And so I was wondering if there were any step-by-step instructions that whenever somebody came on board with us, that we could say, this is how we file a report in the COS Action app, whether you have an Apple phone or an Android phone.
Larry, do you know anything about that? If there are any step-by-step instructions on Android?
I can find out. I don't know if there are step-by-step. I can't imagine they would be too much different. I thought there was a QR code that's all you had to do was scan that and downloaded the app to your phone. Isn't that what Dale went through?
That downloads it, and in fact, I might encourage you guys, all of you, to follow a report on the app tonight that you attended this call. But when I know that people, when they do a report on an Android, the screen looks a lot different than it looks on an Apple, and you go different places. Does anybody on here have an Android?
I do.
Okay. Thomas, could you write up a step-by-step instruction for an Android for how to make a report using an Android phone rather than an iPhone? You're muted right now, so I'm sure you're saying yes.
Oh, do you want pictures with that?
That would be ideal if you could, and then if we just post that in this channel or something, then anytime if anybody needs it.
I just happen to have what they call BlueStacks that mimics just about any phone that's out there.
Okay.
So we're working on that.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to work on that, but that's a good idea, Dale, because I know when you're training somebody new, if they don't have the same kind of phone as you, I know that it looks much different on the screen. And telling them, touch up here in the upper right corner doesn't help them at all.
Yeah, and one of the key roadblocks that we face is getting people to report what they're doing, because we still believe, I think, kind of universally amongst the group here, that our people are doing probably a lot more things than they report in the app. So just trying to get them over that hump.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Do you know when Don Lynn is moving? He hasn't contacted me.
I put in a phone call to Don today, and I have not heard back from him. But when I had talked to him maybe a month ago, he said, they were not in any hurry to get moved. And so I kind of got the idea that it might be several months, but I don't know.
Okay.
But when I hear from him, I'll plan to let you know. And we have one person that's on the inactive list that I'm wondering, Vicki, do you know what's going on with Susie Harrell? She hasn't been on Citizen Builder for about a month.
I don't know. She just got an award at the state call for going down to the state house, so she's active.
Okay. Why don't you ask her to try to file some reports with her phone if she can do that, or she needs to log into Citizen Builder and see if there are any new volunteers or new people in her district too.
Okay.
So
I know she met with one last month. She had a new volunteer. I don't think she's doing the reports.
okay.
I'm doing her MEP for her, so.
Okay. Let's try to get, I don't know if it would be worthwhile to send out at the end of each week a reminder to people to pull out their phone and file reports for things they did during the past week or something. I don't know. But as Dale mentioned, I think the challenge is getting people in the habit of doing it. If we can get people in the habit of reporting things, it'll make life a lot easier for all of us.
They don't know what all they're supposed to report. I don't even know what all I'm supposed to report.
I report
time we
every
have contact with someone, we're supposed to make a report about it.
If you do what?
We have contact with someone, and we're supposed to make a report about it every time.
Well, if you have contact with somebody who's like in the LMT or the district dashboard, you should make notes in there if you can, but if not, you can make notes on your phone. All the things on the menu on your phone are things that, I would encourage you to report, which, attended events, called legislators or candidates, met with other, activists, state director, region call, whatever, letter to legislator, visit the Capitol, anything that's in that menu. And And if you've done something else, I would put it under that other category.
What about calling people on the LMT?
Yeah, you could do that, but if they're in the LMT and they've applied for a role, you probably want to put the notes in the LMT so that you can see them and everybody else can see them as well.
Right, right. But we don't have to file a report for that, do we?
No. If you make notes in the LMT, it'll show up as an activity. Yeah, as action. You don't need to duplicate it in your phone.
So Gary, back to this this LL thing. Should we consider giving up a district captain to fulfill that role if we think they'll fit that, as opposed to looking for somebody else?
Ideally, you'd find somebody new, but if you have somebody that their desire and their skill set is really to be in connection with legislators and maybe help other district captains meet their legislators and be of help to your region in connecting everybody with their legislators, I'd be fine with me. It's up to you and up to them. Some people, maybe that would be a role that they would rather have than being a district captain. So, I wouldn't go to try and chase anybody out of the DC role to become a region LL if that's not what they really want to do.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Of course, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Your check will be in the mail, Thomas. Thanks for saying that.
I just had this. They don't know, do they? No, they don't. I had this, what I consider a firecracker. She applied for DC, was waiting on somebody to interview her, because I already did. And we get another application for an LL. Oh, yeah. Then somebody else sent me a message. Will you kindly remove her as a DC? Marty and his request. But
Yeah,
I communicated with her and trying to find out what she wanted, because I wasn't going to do anything unless she actually wanted the LL position, and she did.
Okay. Is she going to volunteer for the gun show and help out?
Listen, after I got done talking to you this afternoon, I went in there and had something to eat, and haven't got around to calling anybody.
Okay. All right. You're off the hook for this. Anybody have any other questions, comments?
Yeah, Gary, are the time requirements for an LL similar to a DC?
That's a good question. I would think probably at least as much, maybe more than for being a DC, depending on their ability to connect with other legislators in the region. Could be a lot, it could be a lot of time, but hopefully they'll be a part of your team that helps out in other areas as well as being LL. They might show up like this. Hopefully they'll do, gun shows or things like that from time to time, not lead them, but be a participant in activities.
All right.
So, well, we're at about a half an hour unless anybody's got any other questions. I want to wrap this up. Going once, going twice. Thank you all. And I'm going to be out of town for a couple of days, but if you need me, so probably better to reach me by phone because I may not be looking at Slack for the next day or so. Okay.
I got a question before you hang up.
Okay.
What did you find out about the training with my district captain, Gary Spielman?
I really don't have an answer for that yet. All I know is he probably needs to click that link that says he's forgot his password and get back into it. And I couldn't really get an answer about what happened on his training. I want to go back and look at that.
Well, he did 6 weeks with Rachel.
Yeah.
And he told me that Fred also did.